Hi, this is Nancy Schwartz with GettingAttention.org, and I'm here today with Dan Roam. I've just heard him do a fabulous presentation at 12 NTC. I'll be writing about that later. But Dan, who's author of Blah, 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 What to Do When Words Don't Work, has been generous enough to share a few minutes of his time with us to answer a really vital question. And that is, once let's say you're the marketer in an organization, Dan, or the fundraiser, and you've become a convert to the beauty and the efficacy of using simple pictures to communicate most effectively, how do you integrate that and build confidence among your leadership and peers in an organization? And so many nonprofits are wedded to their complexity and uniqueness.
Well, Nancy, you just nailed it. I think there are a couple of pieces there. And the first one is, you said everything already, building confidence. If we want to become good problem solvers, and I of course believe in being problem solvers by being visual first. Visual is an incredible way to take apart problems that otherwise seem really complex so that we can make them clear and then solve them in better ways. Mm-hmm. We have to get confident in doing that. And we build that confidence simply by taking the time to draw things out. This isn't something that works theoretically without practice. We have to mean it. And that's part of it, is becoming confident ourselves in our ability to solve problems. And then the second thing is, once we're confident and we need to get it into our organization, we have to be right up front about our organization's thoughts. Is it critical to us to actually nail down the problems that we have and solve them? Because I don't want to presume anything, I don't want to project anything, but it is so true in my job as a consultant that very often you could be working with organizations of any size. There's often a fear of actually solving the problems because it's like the devil we know is better than the one that we don't.
Right.
We know this problem and we can kind of live with it all the time. We thrive in it. Do we really want to solve this thing? Do we really want to move ahead? Do we really want to be innovative and be different? If we want to, we have to make a change. We have to be clear. Number one then, draw yourself to the point where you become confident in your ability to clarify complexity through visuals and then communicate it to someone else. If we can do that, our bosses will look at us and say, that is compelling, but I don't want you to gloss over, I don't want you to oversimplify. And we say, we won't. But let's use these tools in the next meeting we have. Let's see how powerful they are, and then we get buy-in. And we do, over time, see people recognizing the value of clarification through visuals. Confidence, build confidence individually, share it within the organization. There's something else. I have so many things I could share on this.
Great, go ahead.
Many times when I go into an organization and they say, Dan, we want to bring you in as kind of a visual, visual guru, or visually help us think this through. I don't like facilitation too much because facilitation indicates someone who's in the back. I want to be at the table, in the middle, rolling the sleeves up and actually working on the problem rather than sort of off on the sideline just managing. But I'll say to them, don't bring me in if you really don't want to see the truth. If there are sacred cows, if there are things that really don't want to see the light of day, don't bring me in. Because you know what, when we apply these tools, in particular when we get the teams working visually, the truth will come out. What people really think will come out. The complexities, the things that are bumps, they will come out. And if for whatever political reason it's better to keep some stuff secret, don't do this. Just continue to obfuscate and
hide
through long-winded, verbally written mission statements that maximizing synergies to leverage shareholder value or something. Okay, go ahead and say that stuff. But if you really want to know what it means, then draw it out.
So I can see how that's incredibly useful in terms of developing organizational strategy, addressing perhaps problems of dynamics within an organization. What are some ideas or perhaps examples of how you've seen drawing and pictures used for communicating with external audiences?
All the time. Because let's face it, when it comes to communication, period, the thing we really want is we want to get clarity. And these days, in particular to an external audience, we want clarity with speed. Because nobody is going to give us the time to go through our whole plan, our whole litany of ideas. They want it to be quick. The beauty of a simple picture is by definition, it's going to be quick. It may not have been quick to create. And it's important, I think, here to make a distinction. By virtue of the name of my first book, The Back of the Napkin, many people have come to me and said, oh, so visual problem solving is really, really fast, and you can figure out everything. There's a sort of an idea of it being spontaneous, sudden, brilliant inspiration and solving everything instantly. That's sometimes true, but let's face it, that's not what's common. What's common is using this new set of tools to help us think more critically in a different way, in a visual way, and then work it. We work the problem the same way we would until we have boiled it down to this simple visual image that now we can show to someone else and they say, oh, I get it. And we know that we've succeeded when it appears so effortless that someone else gets it. And let's face it, I mean, whether it's music or theater or acting or anything, the people who are really good are the ones who look like they're not doing any work.
Right.
The ones who are not doing the work are the ones who practiced the most.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about a comedian, do you think, I don't know, Jerry Seinfeld just gets up there and makes up those jokes?
Right.
No, he's worked them so that then he can feel spontaneous. And that's what we want our back of the napkin picture to do. The ultimate goal for me, not the ultimate, a nice goal, is if everybody in their organization was able to come up with a clear visual for the vision of their organization. So if they met someone in a cafe and the person said, okay, you work for nonprofit so-and-so, what do you really do? The person could say, here, let me draw it for you. We do this, you know, here's customers, here's this particular type of audience, and what we do is we intersect the two just like this, and we have great success. And the person's going to look at you and say, you're brilliant. You just drew that right there. Well, thank you for, you know, the compliment of my being brilliant, but the fact is, like an elevator pitch, like anything else,
lot of
I
work.
worked out this, and
Yeah.
I got it down to the point where I could simplify it. So you want to be
Okay.
clear on that.
Okay, and do you want to leave us with one tip for nonprofits?
Absolutely. You've got a lot of people that you need to convince of a lot of things, and there is nothing better, if you didn't get the message already, than clarifying it in your own mind. What is the message you really want to convey? Come up with that simple picture in your own mind on your own piece of paper, practice it, and then go share it with someone else, and it just works. It's amazing what happens.
Okay, Dan, well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out today to share your insights with nonprofit marketers who are part of the
Absolutely.
Getting Attention community.
Draw those pictures.
Really appreciate it.
All right.
Bye-bye.